afternoon, everyone, or good day, good night, wherever you are in the world. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, wonderful night, or morning, wherever you are. Welcome back to another discussion about patience. This time we are going to look at creation. Yes, we're going to look at how creation ties in with patience. And we are going to see how it also has a significance to do with timing. Yes, the time, the God's timing, how God view time, and how we can be patient while we look at these aspects. So I'm gonna wait patiently for you guys to tune in. While I wait, I'm gonna do a little recap. So we were looking at how we can learn patience from Bible characters. When you read the Bible, you read about so many characters that is in the Bible, things they do positive and things they do negative, and we can learn from them. We can take the positive course that they set out for us and learn from them. The negative course that most of them take is to teach us that we should be careful what path we choose in life. So today we learn from quite a few of these Bible characters. Let me refresh our memory of these Bible characters. So we learn from Abraham and Sarah. We learn from Joseph. We learn from Job. We learn from Mordecai and Esther. And we learn from Zachariah and Elizabeth. We also look at the Apostle Paul. Yes, man. The Apostle Paul set a fine example for us. He shows us that we can be patient because patience is necessary on our part in order for us to endure. We need to be patient. And I use a nice example to convey the point or to bring home a point. That example is when you go to the doctor office, and some of us we work on appointment. Even though we are early before our appointment, we still got to wait until it's our time. And emergency can let us wait a little longer because we see that while waiting at the doctor office, they can have emergency, meaning that something can happen on the road, and then an emergency popped in where the doctor don't cannot take you at your appointment time, but has to assist the emergency. So we are seeing that patient is required, and that is the example. So these ones, Abraham, Sarah, Joseph, Job, Mordecai and Esther, Zachariah and Elizabeth and Paul, display patience in all they're doing, and we can imitate them. But there was one person that I did not mention. Who remember that person who set the fine example for us? Who set that fine example? Let's see who remember. I have three lovely persons here. Good day to you and welcome. Yes, Sarah, good day to you. How are you? I have five lovely persons here. How are you, Sarah? Welcome. So Sarah said Jesus, yes. Jesus said a fine example, and Jesus said we should imitate patience. Yeah, man. Hebrews 12, verse 2 and 3. We need to imitate Jesus because Jesus exercised patience. Now we are going to see how creation played that important role and teaching us how to be patient. Let's see. First, we are going to look at the scripture that I leave with you at Matthew 24, reading from verse 32 and 33. And we're going to look at the plants. I don't know if you peer into it. Did you know that the plants can teach us how to be patient? Did you know that? Did you know that? That plants can teach us to be patient. Who know that? Sarah said, not really. Well, today is the day that you're going to learn something new. Yes, plants can teach us how to be patient. Let's see how. Matthew 24, reading from verse 33 to 32. Now learn this illustration from the fig tree. Just as soon as its young branches grow tender and sprout its leaves, you know that the summer is near. Likewise, also you, when you see all these things, know that he is near at the door. What is this saying? This is teaching us about God's timing, and it also teaching us about patience. He says, when you see, learn from the illustration of the fig tree, when the young branches, the tender young branches sprout leaves. So this is how many of us as farmers, if you're a farmer and you're here, this is how farmer knows that they're gonna have a good crop this year. Let me explain it. When they look on the tree and see those young tender leaves coming out, we call them the blossom leaf. Some plants or trees, they comes with like flowers to let you see that it's blossom, but some trees, it's the young tender leaves that let you know that we're gonna have good fruits this year. That's how some farmers judge it. If it changed, it's no. But back in the days, growing up as a young girl, that's how my father judged the tree to see when it's gonna produce plenty. So the illustration of the fig tree is teaching us that summer is near. Yeah. But when we learn that summer is near in the Caribbean is when the leaf started to change its color. When the sun burn it and then get burned, they no green no more. Yeah man. That's how we know. And now springtime everything bloom. This is the season for us to have late crop. Let me explain why. You have some farmers that is not experiencing any fruits at the moment. They have to wait for another month or two, and this is due to how they plant. So if you want to have fruits all year around, you have to make sure that you plant when there is no season for it. So you have to give it a try. So you plant in season and you have to plant when nobody else is have. So that means it's out of season. So you plant in season and you plant out of season. And that's how you can have a balance of food. So when nobody now there market with corn, you have corn they carry a market. And you have to know when to plant corn. You can plant it in the summertime, but you know say next summertime rain no fall that much. So things dry. So you won't get the good harvest during the summertime. So you have to plant when it's close to the rainy season, but not too much in the rainy season, because the rainy season will wash away the corn that you planted. Yeah man, too much water on the plant, you don't get nothing out of it. So it shows us that timing is necessary when you're cultivating patience, and we can see it from God's standpoint. He has a good timing. Look at verse 33. He said, likewise, also you, when you see these things, know that he is near at the door. When you see things happening, good day to you, Miss Wright. Welcome. Good day, everyone. I am late, never prepared. Please forgive me. That's all right. You're not late. You're on time. I just started out. We're looking at creation, how it can help us to be patient, and we are at plants. Because I am saying, when a tree is being planted, it takes time for it to grow and for us to receive fruits if it's a fruit tree from it. It over the years, the farmer have to wait maybe 2-3 years for him to get some fruits from the tree there. So that's how patient. When you compare the growth of the tree to patience, you will see that it is very necessary to cultivate that kind of patience. Because as so, when God come, God will go find we to do what he say we're supposed to do. Because he say we must always be active, do the right thing. So what? So when he come, he find us doing what he said we are supposed to do. What is that? His will. So yes, welcome to everyone. We were looking at Miss Right, Matthew 24 verse 32 and 33, where God was saying that we should learn from the illustration of the fig tree, how it put out its young tender branch and how the leaves sprout. We must observe it and learn. Another scripture in the Bible said we should learn the way of the ants, how them gather them food during the summertime. So when it comes to winter, they relax and eat. So they work all summer to make sure that the house is well good. So when winter time come, they have food in the house and everyone is satisfied to the full. So we are learning from the plants. Now we are going to look at some other aspect of creation. The sea creatures. Yeah, man. What kind of sea creatures? You can just think of so many of them. What kind of sea creatures would you like to think about? Shark, parrotfish. Them a sea creature too, you know. Whale. All of them are sea creature. Let's see what we can learn from them. How they are patient. 2 Corinthians 6 verse 2. For he says, in an acceptable time I heard you, and in a day of salvation I will help you. Look, now is especially acceptable time. Look, now is the day of salvation. What is this saying about sea creature? Let me explain what this scripture is saying. You would notice how long it takes for the fish to hatch their eggs. Quite a while, you know. You know how some fish, like the clownfish, the male is the one that guard the eggs while the female is out. Or they vice versa, they balance it out. Now the seahorse is the male that carries the egg in his pouch. It takes time. He has to make sure all those eggs are properly cared for in order for them to fertilize and come into existence. And it requires patience on that animal part. So we can learn from them. No, they have to wait for a certain season. They have to travel from one course to the other course. Why did we say that? Because there are times when the current changes and where they used to be, they have to change along with the current to go somewhere else to get proper food. We always watch them. It's on documentary showing you how fish migrate from one section of the ocean to another section of the ocean. So it's a balance. It's a balance in everything, and it is required that patience is needed on their part. We're going to see how patience is needed on another aspect of creation. We can look at the birds. We can look at the birds. Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 7. Even the stark in the sky knows its season. The turtle dove and the swift and the thrush keep to the time of their return. But my own people do not understand the judgment of God. What is this one is saying about patience? The birds migrate to another country because of certain season. It could be because of winter. They migrate to a warm tropical country where they can get food. Guys, it's windy today, so you will see the phone shaking back and forth. It's because it's windy. So the birds migrate, and they migrate from one country to another. Some of them migrate to the warm country, the tropical country. Some of them, they migrate to the country with the ice. We can think of the penguin. Did you know that when the penguin has their eggs, the male penguin is the one that help to keep that egg warm during the winter? Yeah, man. That's a good responsibility. And it's patient. And some of the winter season for those birds are harsh. And even during migration, the birds experience harsh conditions. So the scripture said, they know the season and they know the time. They know after the winter is over, they need to return back where they're coming from. Just like butterfly too. Yeah, man. They know the time. The other part of the scripture said, we not pay attention to them that's sitting there. We don't know there's something there. He said, but my own people do not understand. They don't understand that God said. So we are seeing that patience is a must. And when we entwine that with timing, God's timing, we see that patience and time work together. So if you want to cultivate patience and to exercise it, some of us have to set down time to do things. We can do the same. Take time out from what causing you not to, cultivate the patience that you needed and to put it into practice. And remember what I said earlier, a small amount of patience is required. When you acquire it, put it into practice, exercise it, display it. If you go to the doctor office, display that kind of patience because that is needed. There is another one that we can learn from of creation. We can learn from insect. Yeah, man, we can learn from the insects. What are the insects? Bugs, some other things. Name them. Look at Proverbs 6, reading from verse 6 to 8. It said, go to the ants. Remember what I said earlier? They are insect too. Go to the ants, you lazy one. Observe its ways and become wise. So God is saying to us, observe the ways of the ants. Put on some sugar upon the ground. And one ant's finding. You know what going to happen? All the other ants know say sugar did it. So they might come too. Why? They come to eat some and they come to take back some to the colony. Yeah, man. So they too can benefit from the sweetness or the nutrients they are going to receive from the sugar. So learn the way of the ants and see how they operate. They are team. They know when to prepare for the summer. They know when to prepare for the winter. And they also know when to prepare for the rainy season. Yes, they do. We can learn from them. It said at verse 7, although it has no commander or any farmer officer or ruler, it prepares its food in the summer and it gathers its food supply in harvest. This is why I say, nobody now have to tell them, say, they have to prepare food. Because they know no commander officer. You know, you ever watch some cartoon on TV? One of them name one ants movie and it show you that they have commander. And so you go in the ants world. The scripture they tell us that they know no officer, they know no commander. They govern themselves, the animal, those insects govern themselves. They knew when to prepare for food in the summertime and in the harvest time. They knew winter will come, and once winter come, it's gonna be harsh. I remember I know every ant have little hair upon itself. Some of them are just fragile shell. If a shell you call it, or whatever you call it. But we can learn from the insect and see how they are patient and they have to work. Summer they knew when summer lasts, they knew that summer may last for 2 months or 3 months. So the whole 3 months they might prepare. Then they prepare food. Then prepare food for everybody, even down to the little one. They know winter is coming and winter lasts for a certain amount of months. And they know they need enough food to keep them going. So they are preparing just the same. Here's another scripture for you. First Corinthians 9, verse 26. It says, therefore, the way I am running is not aimlessly. The way I am aiming my blow is so as not to be striking the air. What God is saying, the way He is doing things is not aimlessly. He is doing things in line with those who He knows needed the time to make the necessary changes in their life. That's what He's doing. Many of us will say God timing is not it's too for a long time. God has say in the this and in the that and yes, a long time me born can't hear it. But we must remember His timing is not our timing. And there are many people in the world who needed to make the necessary changes. And the changes that they need to make is the inner changes, the outer changes, and some of them are distracted. And God knows that we are imperfect. And imperfect as we are, He is patient with us. So His timing is way different from our timing. And this is what we are learning. Creation, patient, and God timing. It is so unique. So we need to cultivate that kind of patience so we can have success. Yes, we need to cultivate that patience. Here is another creature we can learn from. The land mammals. Did you know you can learn from the mammals that lives on land? Alright, let's see. Ecclesiastic 4 verse 6. It says, better is a handful of rest than 2 handful of hard work and chasing after the wind. What scripture I say? What is scripture I say? How we can learn from the mammals. When you work 24/7 non-stop, your body breaks down, whether fast, slowly, it's still doing the same damage. It breaks in down your body. This scripture is helping us to see that we need rest. The land mammal they need rest too. Look at the cow. When the cow carry a calf in his tummy, it's quite a while, not true? Yes, because when that calf is developed, when the calf is developed, he lie down for a few minutes and get up and wobbly walk around until the little foot then becomes strengthened that he can able to drink milk. How often does a cow become pregnant with a calf? Not as often. They need rest. The body need rest to go back. So they feed the calf because it's young until after a certain time the calf is on its own. Whatever that calf need as nutrients, they pick a little grass until they are fully equipped and feed him themselves. Land mammals can teach us how to be patient. And the mother has to be patient with the calf too. Some of the calf are stubborn, but the mother have to be patient. Ecclesiastic 4 said we need rest. We can't work 100% every day and not get no rest. He said better you do a handful of rest than 2 handful of hard work chasing after the wind. You want to get more money in your pocket, so you do everything for the money. And you never even get 5 money out of your pocket. Your health decline, you get tired, you're burnt out. You start feeling fatigue. All of that is something that you start experience. You don't have no time for eat. You don't have no time for do nothing. You're just chasing after the wind. Here we are saying that body needed the necessary rest. And it is fitting with patience. So if you get 3 days off from work, you say, boy, I not make no money. I don't know what to do. Make use of the time. You don't know what God have in store for you in order for you to benefit from the time He gave to you to rest. Make use of that time. Here's another scripture that can also help us. Philippians 1, reading from verse 9 and 10. It says, and this is what I continue praying, that your love may abound still more and more with accurate knowledge and full discernment, that you may make sure of the most important things, so that you may be flawless and not stumbling others up to the day of Christ. You see why I said that? When you are carrying out God's will and doing what God said you're supposed to do, and when the day of the Lord come, He can find you doing His will. See, the scripture is reminding us that is necessary. He said, continue to pray. So you get lay off from work, and no money now coming, then days you lay off. He say, you have to pray. What you do with the free time? Bond with the family. You did always a work hard. Always a put food on the table. Never had time for them. At time you bond with the family. Things around the yard never when they get done. You look lay off, give you time to spend with the family. It also give you a fresh set of mind, so to speak, where you can think about putting things in place, so when you go back at work, you can have a balance of work, balance of the family, and balance of spiritual time for yourself. So sometimes that's all we need. So here we are learning that is necessary, and patience is there, because you kind of hurry too, and you don't have the patience. You're desperate. You're not desperate. You just need to do what the scripture is helping us to see. Pray and make sure you got love. While you have that love, hear what the scripture said. You need accurate knowledge. Accurate knowledge of what? Of God. To discern the thinking of God. To have the desire to do God's will. To fulfill those desires. Yes. That's what we are gaining from the scripture. And guess what? Patience is needed, because I know same as a prayer. That prayer come. You not get answer same time. Other prayer the way you pray, we needed to get answer just the same. So this is the last one, and I'm gonna get first place. But you need to cultivate patience. When you cultivate it, you exercise it. Verse 10 said, make sure of the more important things. What is the more important things? We named them out already. What is the more important things? What is the more important things? Spiritual food, time with your family. Yes, Sarah, spiritual food. Time with your family. Time for yourself to meditate. Time for yourself to get things in order that wasn't in order. So those are the blessings. And those are the most important things. Spiritual food is more important than anything else. Yeah, man. And guess what? So that you may be fully satisfied in God's work, fully equipped when you pay attention to the important things. And guess what you won't be able to do? Stumble nobody. You won't cause any stumbling for anyone. But you might say, earlier I talked about that nobody know about the day of the Lord and when it come and how that hour come upon us. Miss Wright said that you make time to do God's work. Yes. Needed to make the time to do God's work. So you get laid off from your job, make use of that time. That's what this scripture is helping us to see, you know. Spiritual food, Sarah said. Miss Wright said, make time for God. Are the same thing. The two of them are the same thing. You make time for God and you make time to feed yourself spiritually. So what? So when the day of the Lord come, just because we don't know the day nor the hour, when that day come, guess what happened? We won't be God won't be finding fault of us. He will be pleased and proud because we are doing His will. How can we know that? We are looking back at Matthew 24, and this time we are looking at verse 36. It said, concerning that day and the hour nobody knows, neither the angels of the heavens nor the Son, but only the Father. You see the point what I'm saying? Jesus Himself don't know the time when God's day they come. He said the son no know. Most people would never believe it. So the scripture said Jesus did not know. Jesus don't know the time when the day of the Lord is coming. He said not even the angel know, only the Father know. Mr. I said always give God the glory and praise at all times. You just don't know the day, you don't know the hour. The angel that lives in heaven don't know that day nor time, nor the hour. And Jesus himself don't even know the time nor the hour. It's the scripture saying. Just make sure that you always give God the glory and the praise all the time. Always ready to speak favorably of God. Because in the end, he will find us doing his will. Here is another scripture for you. Same Matthew, but this time Matthew 25, verse 13. Keep on the watch, therefore, because you know neither the day nor the hour. So me and you don't know. So God I tell us if you keep on the watch. So in there they say if you sit down up all day, whole night and not get no sleep, you know. I know that he mean, you know. No. I know that he mean. He means that while we're waiting for the day of the Lord, make ourselves occupied, ready. Yes. That's the point. Make ourselves occupied with God's work. So when that day come, we will be ready. We must be ready. Because God is the one is going to judge between all mankind to see what they are doing. The same Matthew 25, now just look at verse 46 and see what he's saying. These will depart into everlasting cutoff, but the righteous one into everlasting life. What is this saying? The one that is doing the will of the Lord up until the day of the Lord arrive, they will get everlasting life. And the one that refused to do his will, I don't mean so. And the scripture said, these will depart into everlasting cutoff. Mr. Wright said, we must live righteous and do all the good we can do. Yes. Because I know mankind they read with heart. God is a reader of the heart. He knows what we are capable of. He know we before we mother get we. He know what's going to be our life. He give we a chance to make some changes. You ever ask for certain things and when you ask for it, you get it? Yeah, at the same. But you have to work for it, not true? Yeah, man, you have to work in harmony with your prayer. You can't pray and say, oh God, send me and I'll work. When you work in harmony with your prayer, you ask God to send it for you and you keep working towards it and you will receive it. That is how patient work. The day of the Lord is near. We do not know the time nor the hour. What are we gaining from today's discussion? That we need to be patient. While we be patient, when the Lord come, he will find us doing his will. What did we look at? We look at the plants, the sea creatures, the birds, the insect, the land mammals, and we also see that the day of the Lord is near. It is near for us to remain loyal, keep doing his will, so he will find us when his day arrives that we are doing what he says we are supposed to do. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Let's do a little recap of the scriptures. The first scripture, when we look at plants, who remember that first scripture? When we look at plants, that first scripture that we talk about, what was it? Who remember the first scripture we talk about? When we look under the subheading of plants, it was the same theme scripture that I leave with you guys. Welcome to you, Jacob. Good day to you. Matthew 24, reading from verse 33 to 32. The scripture they say, learn the illustration from the fig tree. Learn the illustration from the plants. When you plant one flowers, on the same day it grow. It takes time. First, the seed, if it's a flower seed, first it fermented underneath the earth. The outer shell is leaving the soil, and the inner part is take its own little time and burst from underneath the soil, come up. And the first thing, it puts out a little teeny leaf. Sometimes it's just a vine. Depends on what you plant. So patience is required for this plant to take root so it can be strong. And guess what? So it can produces, whether it produce flowers or it produce fruit. How is this coincide with patience of mankind? We have to make sure that we strengthen ourselves. And patience is required when we are strengthening ourselves. We gotta make sure that patience is a part of being strong. Because if you got a doctor office there, you'd not get through the same time. It's worse if your name ain't no appointment and are really sick, you're sick. You have to have patience. You ever go to a hospital to see the doctor? You know how long you have to sit down and wait? Yeah, man. And they can sometimes I have 5 hours before I have your time. It's worse if your case is not an emergency case. So patience is required. We talk about sea creatures. Who remember the scripture there? Sea creatures. What the scripture they say? And why did I use that scripture? Who remember the scripture there? 2 Corinthians 6 verse 2. What the scripture there they say? It say, for he says, in an acceptable time I heard you, and in a day of salvation I will help you. God say, in the time when you pray, he hear your prayer, but you go have to wait. Pan for him time. Now when you say, boy, yesterday me pray about you, me no get it yet. I know so you were. God say, he hear you, and he hear you in a day of the salvation or whatever day you ask, but you go wait. Pan for him time. Because he will help you. Yeah. Look at the other part. Say, look, now is the especially acceptable time. Look, now is the day of salvation. The day when you receive your blessing. The day when the prayer answer. And that the day that you won't forget it. Because God knows that when you ask for it, you don't need it that time. But when the appointed time comes, that's when you receive it. And that's when you get it. I experience it, so me I talk it. Me talk it with emphasis because I same so you go. When God answers prayer, in at the right time, you will receive the blessing. You will receive the prayer where you pray when at the right time. Not your time, but God's timing. We talk about birds. Jeremiah 8 and verse 7. It teaches us about birds, how they travel from one country to another country. And they do that when it's migration time. Yeah, man. The bird migrate when one country's season change. So they go to a warmer country to enjoy. Some birds remain, but the majority of the birds leave to go to a tropical country so they can enjoy. So during the migration time, we might see strange bird in Jamaica, other Caribbean country. And when it's rainy season, tough season, some birds from our country go to other person's country. So we can learn from them. And it takes time because sometimes, all months them migrate for, And they travel, and they have to fly, And I know how easy sitting, and they have to work with the current, And then here the next thing. They do it in group. Birds together, flock together. They fly together. Yeah, they do it in groups. So when you look up in the sky and see the bird traveling in V formation, when the one up front get tired, somebody else come in and take the lead. Them a teamwork and it requires patience. They have to make sure they find the warmer air to help them glide when they do their migration. They go through a rough time during migration and patience is required on their part. We look at insect, we learn from the ants. Proverbs chapter 6, reading from verse 6 to 8. Learn from the way of the ants how they store their food, how they provide for themselves. Remember, said they don't have no leader. They utilize the instinct where they have to help them together during those times. So we can really learn from them. Learn from the mammals that live on land. These mammals, while living on land, they need rest too. Even when they are out in the field eating. You ever observe the cow when he eats? He eats right around the clock, not true? Yeah, man, but there are times when he pause. When he pause, he relax under one cool shady. And when he, that a one tree, one big old tree under, they relax. Sometimes he fall asleep and in the chewing cud. Sometimes he'll tap chewing cud and just shut his eye just for relaxation. Yeah, man. At night time, cow do feed at night, but mostly they do their rest. So you can observe the animals and you can learn a lot from them. And the last scripture that we look at, Matthew 24, reading from verse 36, we see that none of we know the day, the time, nor the hour. Not even Jesus, nor the angel them. Only God himself, only Jesus' Father know. And when we look at Matthew 25, verse 13, it's helping us to see that we have to keep on the watch. And we know that is not lack of sleep. God is talking. He said, keep busy. Busy in the work of the Lord. Doing what you know you're supposed to do. And guess what? When the day of the Lord come, it won't be sudden. Because you are well active doing his will. And when we look at the same Matthew 25, verse 46, he said, we will gain everlasting life when we do his will, and those that refuse to do his will, they will get everlasting cut off. So that is where I leave you guys. Thank you all for tuning in today, Miss Wright. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Is there any question you want to ask before I go? I really appreciate it that you guys tune in and you were ready to benefit from today's discussion. Oh, and I'm gonna leave you with a next topic for next week. You're welcome, Sarah. I really appreciate you. Miss Wright, any question before I go? All right, Jacob, you have anything you want to ask? Any question? Anyone before I go? Mr. I said, please let me know the day and the time next week. That's what you said, Miss Wright. Let you know the day and the time. All right. Next week. No problem. All right. Sarah said, can you continue on patience some more? All right. Can that mean you're asking me if I can continue to talk about patience some more. Let me know if that's what you mean, because there's a little error in your typing. What else I can learn? All right, she agrees. She said if I can continue to talk about patience some more, what else she can learn. Sorry about that. All right, so guys, I'm a little stuffy today. I have some fresh cold, so to speak. So you will probably hear me sound a little stuffy, a little different. I am very congested, so I'm sorry about that. All right, Sarah, no problem. So she said she want to learn more, and I want to give some more. I was looking at another topic, and it is necessary. We talk about, let me show you why it is necessary. We talk about how we can be patient, and we were looking at 1 Corinthians 13 verse 4, which help us to see that love is the foundation of patience, right? And then we look at how God view things and how we can learn from other things. Not true. We look at how God view time. We look at how when we are built with friendship, it requires patience. When we are built with our spirituality, it requires patience on our part. And when we are setting goals, it requires patience. Then we look at who we can learn from. We learn from Jesus, we learn from Abraham, we learn from Joseph, we learn from Job, Mordecai, Zechariah, and Paul. Now we learn from creation. But guess what we never learn from? People in today's world. Not true? Yeah. How we can be patient to other people. If we are cultivated, we learn about how others do it. We learn how the trees do it and how the plants do it. We learn how we ourselves supposed to do it. But we will be looking at how we can be patient towards other people. Yeah, it is necessary. So, Sarah wants to learn more about patience, what she can do. Now, the next topic will be patient towards all people. That would be our next topic. Be patient towards all people. And we got quite a few scriptures, and we are going to peer into it and see how we can be patient. But as you know, I am gonna feed myself first, and then come back and feed you guys. That's how the spiritual food works. So enjoy your day. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm looking forward to see you. And yes, Miss Wright, I will let you know when the next topic is going to be and let you be right on time. So enjoy the rest of your day again, and I am looking forward to see you guys on the next topic. I should have leave a team scripture with you so you ponder over it. How can we be patient towards all people? 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 14 is your team scripture. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 14, how we can be patient towards other people. It is necessary. If we cultivate it, we need to use it, exercise it, and make use of patience. So when we talk, we are going to see how we can do it towards other people. Thanks again. See you, and have yourself a wonderful day. Jacob, have yourself a nice day. You're welcome. Bye. Thank you too. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Wright. Thank you, Cyril. Thank you. I will see you next time. And I won't be sounding like this. I will sound way better. It's windy. If it's blurry, I'm very sorry. It's out of my jurisdiction. Jacob said bye, Miss Wright. See you guys soon. See you soon. Bye bye.